On yesterday, I saw a video, and in it, the star of the show was Dr. Africano. And she was in Africa, or I was led to believe she was in Africa. And what she said was enough, hopefully, to make a difference in the way kings and presidents act in Africa. And if it doesn't, hopefully, our young people will rise up and take away their power and their ability to keep them poor, to keep them in bondage, and to keep them in actually a perpetual loan situation that does them no good, and they owe so much money to the people that they borrow from that we have no future for our kids. Okay? It's almost something similar what's going on in the United States, but nobody talks about it. It's hush-hush. But the United States can defend itself against their borrowers or the outstanding loans. Africa does not have the ability to properly defend itself. And behind that, the diaspora and African people themselves seemingly do not want Africa free. That's on top of the people that have been pillaging and stealing and colonizing and bringing all kind of actually hell on people that do not deserve it. The problem is the powerful can break the law, but the law is not made for them, it's made for us to obey. They don't have to obey. I want to get back to something. They say neo-colonialization, and then that's something that I don't really kind of understand, because the colonizers never really left. And if they did leave, they left who in charge? They left the blacks who will turn on their own people for a dollar bill. They'll sell their own mama for a dollar bill. Neo-colonialization. It's where they exert power over another country, and usually by indirect control of former colonies by their previous colonizers through economic and political influence. Now, we know that to be true because some of the colonizers left behind their language, their culture, their education system, and everything else to keep those people in bondage. Now, I want to talk about 3 lions in the jungle. Always talking about Africa's a jungle. This whole world is a jungle. In fact, the world is a ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Geo-colonialization. It's a broader concept. Signifies the use of a country's geographical position and economic power to exert control over other regions, often without direct political involvement. So how could they do that? Well, they leave a president that they have in their pocket who don't care about their country or the people in it, don't care about the world. All he cares about is him. Who does that sound like? Sounds like people in America. This is potentially even beyond former colonial ties. So take, for instance, Ghana, Ivory Coast. When you allow the same people who colonize you to control you and to give you money, put food on your table when you don't really even need it, because you're the place that has all the riches. But you are so enslaved in your mind, and you are so controlled by another person that you will stick a knife in your brother. See, those people, the colonizers, they leverage power, geographic advantage to control other regions, other countries. But you see, Africa is not a country. It's a continent with many countries. Right now, I'm a little ashamed that I even thought about going to Ghana, Ivory Coast. Why would it be named the Ivory Coast? I mean, most of the people I saw, but then that's just TV, you know me. I haven't been there yet. But it's funny to name it the Ivory Coast because ivory is white. But, you know, maybe that's why they did it, because that's the particular land that people came over there and colonized, and they don't want to leave because it's a Garden of Eden. Now, these countries I was talking about have allowed the colonizers to come and put all kind of bases and all kind of other things, the same things that the people from the AES, Sahel, have been trying to get rid of. These countries who've asked to join the Sahel, but they were denied because of their relationship with the colonizers, the same people that did you harm, you trying to invite them back, or they never really left, and now all of a sudden you inviting them to come over and wreak mayhem, okay, on the same people that just threw you out of their country. This is how you be my brother? I pity the fool. Remember that? Mr. T used to say that on the A-Team. I don't know why we don't say anything about what's going on in the United States. But I'm really, just looking at how we feel about what's going on in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. We got 3 lions over there trying to fight the whole world, and now all of a sudden, Russia and China is giving them a little bit of support. But where is there support from the people that look like us? We don't even care about our own people here. So I guess it's natural that we don't give them the type of support and tell them that we love them, and that everybody should be telling Africa they love them. Because if it wasn't for their raw materials, and if it wasn't for mankind being birthed out of there, you wouldn't even be here. But you don't want to believe none of that because the European didn't tell you that. I'm telling you that. This is the whole thing in a nutshell. There's no way in the world that divided we can make a difference that is going to economically impact our lives, our neighborhoods, our cities, states, countries, continents. So would you please just think about somebody else besides yourself? I'm going to talk about something on Sunday with the church of tomorrow morning, but I had one man that told me that he found there to be several different personalities in the world. I said, I only see two: the selfish and the community minded. The selfish are always talking about me, me, me. When they make it, they're not trying to reach a hand down and bring nobody else up with them. It's almost like they grab it and they hold on to it so tight, and that's how they lose it. But the community minded, they're not always concerned with how much they make. They're worried about mankind. And that's probably been black folks' problem from the beginning. Because, see, we just learned how to be selfish. You look at the Indian and you look at some other people who've had their land taken, who've had their people stolen, who've had their people colonized, and you can say that they weren't, but you know what? Everybody had a turn at being slaves and everything else. It's our turn. I don't know. All I know is let's make Africa great again.